And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time again for your fabulous, fearless host, Professor Victor Singing Eagle, your intrepid instructor of English Composition 1 here at Sisseton, Wahpeton College. And without any further delay, let's have Professor Victor Singing Eagle. Yay! Right on. Last time I was talking to you, we were talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, otherwise known as affirmative action programs. Were we not? Yes, we were. And I said, well, I need to give you guys a pep talk because I worry about this stuff and I worry about you, my beloved students. As you know, this is not a PWI. That's what the students in Alabama, I used to teach at an HBCU, historically black college or university, two of them in Alabama, one in Selma and one in Talladega. And they used to call the bigger schools PWIs, predominantly white institutions. Well, you guys also know that Sisseton Wahpeton College is not a mainstream or PWI. We know this because, most of us are native, right? Mm-hmm. And you got this weird mixture of islander and native too, but we won't go there. We want to talk specifically about being the only person of color in your entire department, because this happened to me way back a million years ago. Remember I told you, I went to, as an undergraduate, the University of California at Santa Barbara. Awesome school, but I was one of maybe 150 Native American students. Now, keep in mind, I hear a vacuum cleaner. I'm going to try to talk over this and talk louder so the vacuum doesn't drown me out. Right. At the University of California at Santa Barbara, I was, again, one of 150 students, all Indians, and then the school had like 16 to 18,000 other students, most of whom were white. Sure, we had some African American black students, we had some Chicano Latinos and some Asians, but for the most part, surfer dude, blonde hair, blue eyes, right? You know what I mean. Now, as the only native in my entire Department of English and the Department of Anthropology, because I got two PhDs and two bachelors. Never mind, that's a double bachelor. Boy, those kids made me feel it. I mean, my classmates, even my teachers made me feel it, man. Everybody was white! And I hate to go there, but I got to tell the truth. And I felt like the Lone Ranger a lot of times. And my classmates would jump on me and say, you're just an affirmative action case. The only reason why you're here, we let you in this school is because you're an Indian. You might hear this when it's your turn. That's why I'm telling you this story, you see. You're going to get slapped upside the head with this argument. The only reason why you're here is because you're an Indian. Because you're fulfilling a quota, right? Mm-hmm. Well, this really got to me, and I started to worry, you see. And I went to my advisor, who was at the time the late Lee Francis. He's a Laguna Pueblo Anishinaabe Lebanese professor. God rest his soul. He was an awesome professor. He was my advisor. And he told me, I went to him and I said, Professor Francis, you got to help me. I'm starting to worry. I'm feeling really down. All my classmates are telling me that the only reason why I'm here is because I'm fulfilling a quota. Is it true? Professor Francis said, sit down, son. I've got to talk to you for a minute. So pulled up chairs. This is an American Indian EOP, the building. We had our own little section in the EOP building. We sat down. He says to me, sit down, son. Now, I was on the committee that admitted you to this school. Keep in mind, UC Santa Barbara, UC Berkeley, all those University of California system, those are supposed to be really prestigious institutions, you see, or at least a little bit underneath Ivy League, but still pretty good. I mean, they're on the, if you go on U.S. News and World Report and you look up really, really great institutions, UCSB is way up there, okay? Like number 16, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, UC Santa Barbara, Professor Francis was telling me that he was on the committee where they go through all the applications of all the people who are applying to be students at the school. He saw my application. He pulled it out. He said, we got to have this kid. Now, he says to me, why? Number one, I was a veteran. Already a veteran. I had served my country honorably. He said, you served your country honorably, got an honorable discharge, you did your duty, and you're back in college. And you also, when you were in the military, you served as a translator, English, Spanish, and you did all these awesome things. You learned how to fly in airplanes and helicopters, and you got great stories. Now, you've got skills, you've got experiences, as opposed to, look at all these kids around you, blonde hair, blue eyes. What have they been doing? Surfing and having fun in high school. Next, another reason, you wrote a dang good essay to get into this school. Now, back in the day, you had to write an essay to get into UC system as a student, an undergrad, get admitted. And whereas all the other kids were writing about all the fun they had in high school, and I was a really good cheerleader, and I was the captain of my team, and all that crap, you wrote about your skills, your experiences, and how you can use those skills and experiences here at the University of California at Santa Barbara to make not only yourself look good, but also make the school look good. You used good rhetoric. That's why we admitted you. And so that really shined my halo really good, and I felt better about myself. So whenever somebody told me that I was an affirmative action case, I knew the truth. Didn't have to argue with them. I just kind of and smiled and kept walking. Proud to be a Native American / Pacific Islander. And that's all I got to tell you. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.